Larry Gigli uses terrible lines to change a lesbian into a turkey timer? Or something. This is Gigli on Stinker Madness.
Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness.
Hello, welcome back to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies, our continual hunt to find Hall of Fame material and expose good movies that are actually quite bad. Got Sam and Jackie here. I'm your host, Justin. How are you guys?
Good. I need to know something, though.
Please.
Are we going to go to the Baywatch?
No.
Wait. Well, you told me that we were going to go to the Baywatch.
We are not going to go to the Baywatch.
So you lied to me about going to the Baywatch?
The Baywatch is closed today. They are not open.
No. Can we go to the Baywatch tomorrow?
We'll try. We'll see if they're going to be open tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, do you have to get on a walkie-talkie to find that out?
I don't actually own a walkie-talkie. I just own a mag light that I keep in the dashboard of my Impala. And
well, the weather's looking great today.
Yeah.
Off the southeast of Wales.
Don't, please don't.
Oh.
Please don't go down that road. This is a pretty bad movie.
It's not good.
It's pretty bad. What you guys, what was your overall sense of the film as far as its production and quality of a film as a whole?
It felt like exactly what I read, that they came back and turned it into a different movie.
Yeah.
And I think that really the problem with it is that it's not what they put in so much as probably what got taken out. You changed 40 minutes of a movie so you've made it 2 hours long when it was probably 90 minutes to get go. Or no, he was going to make it 160 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it was, I don't know what it would have been had they not added a bunch of talk about just these conversations between Affleck and JLO about nothing.
Love, I guess.
About nothing. They were just being
about
charming.
genitalia.
Yeah, bits. Fiddly bits. Yeah, a lot of that. Jackie, what was your overall impression of the film?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
No.
I mean, yes, very retarded. It was not...
Yeah.
It was not a good movie by any means. But, it was slightly entertaining because you were like, really?
Here's what I notice about Gigli, is it's 2 hours. But what I notice about it's 2 hours is that I didn't notice it was 2 hours.
It moves.
It moves. And I've been complaining over this entire week about movies that are not aiming at 90 minutes. This is the first one that I saw that was not 90 minutes that I was like, you know what? This is moving. I don't have a problem with the speed of this film.
Yeah. So. I think that maybe the outrageous backlash and hatred and how bad this movie is more due to the fact that the Bennifer hype building up to its release and then it just not being very good.
I think that's exactly what it is. I have a question for you guys about the Bennifer deal.
Sure.
So Gigli is 2003.
Yeah.
What do we think? Summer? Actually, I have the release date here. If I can unlock my phone.
2003 was the release date of Gigli.
Right. That's the year. August 1st, 2003.
Okay.
How much longer did the Bennifer exist after this?
Not very much before Bennifer 2, Bennifer Forever.
What's that?
He married Jennifer Garner. So it's Bennifer 2.
Right.
But they're still married. So Bennifer 2, Bennifer Forever.
Yeah, because,
I just made that up, though.
Well, did Bennifer 2 get started on the set of Daredevil?
I think so.
Which is also 2003.
No, like, it happened, like, the Bennifer thing happened, and then all of a sudden it was over, and then he was married to Jennifer Garner not long after the end of the JLO Ben Affleck business.
Yeah.
It happened really fast.
We watched that Saturday Night Live, that classic 40-year anniversary Saturday Night Live rerun just a couple weeks ago that had Ben Affleck. And it happened, like, the episode was recorded right after Bennifer 1 broke up, but they had a Gigli skit in it. Yeah. So it was like, Gigli's obviously terrible. It may have been at the dollar theaters at this point, or just, like, maybe between DVD and theater release. And talking about Bennifer breaking up. Like, so my question to you is, Did Gigli cause the breakup?
Or did it happen, like, because I don't remember either, did they even make it through the release of Gigli?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just remember him having some gambling problems, and the tabloids were like, oh, he gambles all the time. And then JLo had picked out black and white napkins for the wedding, and that, oh my God, these napkins are now wasted because they're not going to get married.
What you're saying right here sounds like a story written by Martin Brest. That's like a shitty Martin Brest movie. That could have been the plot of Gigli. This breakup. How dumb. Oh, God. I'm going to just put it out there. I hate the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely. And I really hate the early 2000s, of all things. The early 2000s were just garbage.
I feel like the early 2000s just didn't... There was no identity.
I can identify it. Nickelback. Very strong Nickelback, and the Eve 6, and that early college rock.
Just crap.
It was just crap.
Clothes were crappy.
Nobody had any money because we were all afraid of getting exploded. And it just, the whole time was, I can't be alone in hating the early 2000s. I'm fairly alone in hating the 80s. But really the early 2000s.
See, I was a kid in the 80s. Which is probably why I have
so much different from us.
Yeah.
Well, and really, I think that's
you
why...
youngsters.
I think that's why I have a warped sense of self, was because of the 80s business.
The 80s fucked you up?
This changed your whole identity.
Yep.
As a human being and a citizen of the galaxy.
That was my informative years.
So, are you...
Side ponytails, big bangs, and hairspray just... fuck me up for the rest of my life.
Are you saying that the millennials are also going to be fucked up because the early 2000s were such shit?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
They're going to watch movies like Gigli and be like, that's true love right there.
Yeah. The movie, Gigli, starts out...
with Affleck narrating.
With... I thought he was breaking the fourth wall. I'm really glad that he didn't, and he was talking to a guy in a laundromat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In a dryer. Is he killing that guy? He's gonna put him on the spin cycle, or he's gonna dry him until he starts coughing up some dough.
Where's he gonna get the dough from? Is the dough in his tummy, and the dryer, the spin cycle's gonna make him puke it up?
That's his laundromat, and it's in the back. He eventually... decides to cough up half the cash, though, so it works.
Yeah. So...
It is Napoleon from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah, I wasn't. I still wonder about the money.
He's like the worst hitman in the world.
He's not a hitman.
Is he a hitman?
He's just...
He's an enforcer, and he's terrible at it.
Yeah, he's a collector. He collects the cash.
Is it the intimidation racket protection?
No, he's I don't know what racket it is, but he's like... the guy that comes in after you don't pay and roughs you up until you do.
Does California have the mob?
To my knowledge, not really.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just gangs.
It's everywhere. Everything is everywhere.
Yeah,
they've got a little bit of everything.
Not like Jersey or something like that.
But that's where they were at, was Jersey.
No, they were in
L.A.
California.
There's Santa Monica Boulevard is like the second shot of the fucking movie.
The movie ends
they're
with them
on the
driving
PCH.
up the PCH.
Why does everybody talk like they're from Jersey then in this movie?
Because they're idiots.
I thought we were in Jersey.
Al Pacino was from New York.
Yeah, he came in from New York. That's as close as you get. Everybody's wearing Hawaiian shirts and bowlers and shorts. And
how do you know that's not Jersey?
Because it's the
there's
New
fucking
England.
palm
It's cold.
trees everywhere.
Yeah, there's palm trees.
Jersey has a beach.
That's
Jersey
covered
Shore.
in
pregnant teenagers
and used syringes, toxic
Seagulls.
waste, urine, which is pretty much like Malibu as well. So, yeah. Anyways, he's a low-level thug.
Yes.
He's got
small
a
timer
boss named Lewis, who also seems like kind of a dipshit.
Lewis is a dipshit. I think that's one of the things that perhaps what's lost on the cutting room floor and the transition of this movie into a romantic comedy is that I felt like it could have been a film about a bunch of dipshits that were in over their head. And you don't feel that as much as you could have because it's too distracted by the other things.
There's nary mention that they're in over their head until Al Pacino shows up.
Yes, like, you people are dipshits.
But also Al Pacino is a dipshit.
Yeah, well, yes.
Everybody's a dipshit.
Yes.
Except for JLO.
No, she is
a dipshit
she's
in
a
our
dipshit.
reality, but in the reality of this movie, she's the only one with any answers.
She's a dipshit that's read a couple of self-help books.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. That is a very good...
What was that one she was reading? Being Peace?
Being
Being
peace.
peace.
Philosophical lady.
But she's also read Sun Tzu's Art of War.
Yes.
So...
Well, you gotta get your eye gouging tactics somewhere.
Is that like...
Or at least the back of it.
Is it like you read Art of War and then read Being Peace? The follow-up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe it's just one of those lesbian books that I've heard about.
Being Peace
Being Peace.
was written by a man, according to the
Fighting
back
her-
sleeve.
Oh, well, maybe he's a lady man. Or maybe he's just cashing in on, like, I understand a woman.
Like
how do you write a woman? I think of a man. And I take away rationality and accountability.
So he's the guy that created Sex and the City.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
He really knows a lot about women. Yeah, so the idea here is that Lewis gets a call from his boss, and his boss is in trouble and needs some help,
That's
I
the
guess.
idea that you think, but that's contradicted in later.
Yeah.
Later, it turns out that Lewis has just got some of his own ideas.
freelancing.
He's freelancing.
He's gonna work his way up
and
the totem chain.
He's not
Totem chain.
Totem chain.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the kind of guy that should be coming up with ideas.
Yeah, his idea is to take the heat off of his boss by kidnapping the mentally handicapped brother of a federal prosecutor, and therefore being able to put some weight on the federal prosecutor to back off of Lewis's boss. Right?
Yeah. It is a bad plan.
It's a pretty dumb plan. I don't think it really is going to work. And it doesn't. Turns out, spoiler alert. So he sends Larry Gigli to nab Brian, the mentally handicapped brother.
I think you're supposed to say spoiler alert before you spoil it.
I'm not so good at that, and I don't really care.
This whole thing is a spoiler alert.
Yeah. Don't listen to the podcast if you
If you haven't watched it.
are waiting for suspense details to be revealed inside of Gigli. I think you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Yes. and-
Julie, the philosophical here.
Yes. There's a lot of philosophy in this movie that is garbage, but it is they like to wax philosophical at each other a lot. So they go to pick up Brian, or Larry does by himself.
And he's not nabbing him so much as he is like, hey, let's go for a ride.
Yeah, and you don't need where is Brian?
I don't know if it's like a self-check-in thing. It looks like it's just an old condemned grade school.
It looked like a grade school. That's what it looked like to me. It had the little chairs, the
It
little
also
different
had
colored chairs, and
The windows that are meant to be able to escape from.
yeah, and
I think it's like a retard gate daycare. Where you just drop them
What?
off.
maybe
I don't think that's... Whatever you just said is not a thing.
I think it might be in bigger cities.
What is it? I'm going to let
No,
you
I would why
say...
couldn't that
No,
be a
what
thing?
is the name of this place, Jackie? You say that again out loud.
It's a retard daycare.
Oh, you should gate in the other one, too.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well...
I don't see why that couldn't be that.
No,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
they have adult babysitters. Why
However,
can't they have
they-
a retard gate daycare?
That leads to other problems. Who's dropping Brian off? Because it ain't his brother, because his brother's in New York.
No, apparently his brother's in L.A.
That's
It's
what
a
I'm saying.
federal thing.
Oh, it is a
I
federal
thought this
thing.
was in Jersey.
So,
Which that you don't find that
Brian's
out until
brother
the end when
is
Ben
the
Affleck calls
caretaker.
Brian's brother from the payphone by just telling the payphone who to call and then later hanging up on it.
right.
And that resolves that situation.
Well, we're familiar, having watched Phantoms, that Ben Affleck does not understand how phones and technology work, and just shouts at them. So if it's a daycare,
I don't think it's... I think they're to live in.
I think Brian lives there.
Yeah,
because they want to drop him back off.
And they say that you have to go back to living there. He lives there all the time. That's his
Yeah.
house.
That sucks.
It does suck a little, because it doesn't look like a place where people live.
But it's
Looks like a
apparently
cafeteria.
one that you can just leave. Well, that's just the cafeteria area. It probably has other things. That one room isn't the whole fucking place.
That
Come on
seems like
now.
that's where everybody's at.
Well, it's a common area.
The beds just
No,
fall
like,
up into the wall.
You just curl
Like a
up on
lunch
top
table.
of one of those desks when it's bedtime. No, they have their own fucking rooms.
I don't know, man.
I'm just assuming.
Have you seen this movie?
Anyway,
Okay, so he goes in there, has some nice conversation. He appears to have never heard of anybody with mental handicaps at all because he doesn't understand that they're not like him.
who?
Be normal.
B, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, be normal.
Larry Gigli? No, there's a communication issue between the two of them.
Yeah.
That raises its head
He is the
periodically.
wrong guy for this assignment. Clearly.
I also feel, because we find more out about Lewis later, that I don't really know that Lewis has anybody else to
I don't
hire
think
for
Lewis has
anything
anybody else.
other than these two
Yeah,
people.
I think this is Lewis's team.
Yeah, and it just, who is Lewis?
Who's Lewis?
Lewis has a restaurante.
No, he doesn't.
he?
Yes, because he's always hanging out by a restaurant. He's like,
No,
I
he's
had that
just-
earlier
no, he's
today.
just
It's
eating.
really
Food
good.
all the time.
Yeah.
Pacino even says, I like this guy. He eats food all the time.
Lewis doesn't do shit. He wears bad shirts and yells
Makes
at people
phone
on
calls.
the phone.
That's all he does is
And,
make phone
and
calls.
hangs out at this one bistro.
Pay phones.
No, there was two different places that you've
He
seen
just
him.
bounces around Sunset and West Hollywood and makes phone calls from pay phones and yells at people.
He had a cell phone too.
Yeah, why? I don't know.
Maybe he's taking selfies at these places.
Maybe.
Yeah, because this is 2003 and we had Instagram. That's a no. We did not at that point in time, Jackie. So he just takes Brian.
They leave.
They leave.
So it's not that bad of a place because you could just leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, pound the pavement.
There's no
doors right there.
Nurse Ratched is not at this place.
No, there wasn't anybody. Yeah, they were sort of left to their own
Okay,
devices.
see you later, Brian. Okay. Goes to his apartment, and that's where they're going to just keep him and hang out. I guess the plan is to just sit on him for an indeterminate time until the prosecutor backs off. Court cases usually take a long time. Who knows how long Brian's going to be staying with Larry Gigli in his apartment that has no food or...
Well, if you're going to back off, you can just back off at any point. Once it goes to trial, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Lewis has just sort of come up with his own plan. He's off whatever reservation he was on.
Well, JLO shows up, knocks on the door, and she's already, like...
Bullshit.
It's bullshit
It's bullshit.
instantly, because, oh my god, there's chemistry between these two people when they say, hi, ooh, and then googly eyes at each other for like 10 seconds before, who are you? Who are you? Bleh.
I need to use your phone.
I need to use your phone, handsome guy. Ooh, you're an incredible woman. Now's not a good time, but I guess I can make an exception because we obviously have so much chemistry. Make yourself at home, too, by the way.
Yeah. No, that's what So she shows up. She's dumb. She wants to use the phone. Then she comes in and immediately puts her fucking feet on the coffee table.
So is
You
she...
uncivilized bitch! Get out of my house!
That's right.
Is she seducing her way into his house? Like, is this all part of... Do they actually have chemistry, or is she just using her feminine wiles to get into his apartment?
She uses her feminine wiles to get into his apartment because afterwards, when he has to do something, he comes back in and she's like, you are a fuck up.
Oh, that's why she's yelling at him, because he let her in.
Yeah.
Because he's an idiot.
Because he's an idiot.
He
She's
has
like,
no business doing this.
Lewis told me you were an idiot, but you've exceeded his
She
description.
should know the type of people that Lewis employs.
Because she's one of them.
She's one of them. And Lewis is an idiot. Everybody's an idiot.
Everybody is an idiot.
Yeah.
And so here's the deal. They even say something, or no, it wasn't the idiot pyramid, it was the who do you want to fuck pyramid or whatever later when they're having their 10-minute discussion that doesn't involve any part of the story.
About genitals.
Yeah. So if there's an idiot pyramid and you're working for Lewis, you're not very high on the pyramid.
Mm-mm.
So you can call Larry a fuck up all you want, but you still work for Lewis.
You are essentially Larry's equal in this entire bad guy corporation.
Yes.
Neither of you outrank each other.
No. Partners in being dumb.
Yes. So dumb. So she's there to assist or just keep track, make sure nothing gets screwed up.
This is, again, Lewis's managerial style.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks they're both idiots. He himself is an idiot. He doesn't put either one of them in charge. He just puts them there to keep an eye on each other.
Right.
That's the plan.
So is she a hitman?
No, neither one of them are a hitman.
She's just a thug.
She's not even a thug, I don't think.
What is she?
I don't know. She's probably a con. She probably plays the confidence game.
Yeah, that could be.
I don't know what she is. And I don't think there's any way to really find out what she did before this. But you do know that Larry stuffed a guy into a dryer and pulled some cash off of him. That's what you do know.
Yes. This is so dumb.
As you're thinking, as we got done with it, you're like, I think I liked it.
I do like this movie.
But now you're going,
No, it's
wait
dumb.
a second,
It's
this doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't like it because of its quality. I like it because it's terrible,
pretty
but charming at the same point.
Mm.
So he's then again not dealing with Brian very well, and he's roughing him up, and act normal, Brian, quit talking about Baywatch, or whatever the hell Brian's talking about, bowls of spit, or I don't even know.
Yes, it was the spit. How much do you drink of your own spit?
Or he's gonna beat him up, and JLo says, if you don't back off, I will kill you.
And I don't believe her.
I don't believe her. I don't believe he could kill her either. I don't think these people have done anything.
They couldn't cut a thumb off, as we'll later find out, so killing is, boy...
Yeah, Lewis does not have a deep bench at all.
No! I think Lewis is on somebody else's bench.
Yeah, I think so.
Lewis is like, if you're the Lakers, Lewis is he's like on the edge of the bench. He's the guy that doesn't get to suit up or even travel for the road games on your D-League team.
Yeah.
He's not even on the Lakers.
I just don't get Lewis and his team. I don't get it. Well, Brian wants to be read to because it's bedtime. So he has to have Larry read to him.
This could have been a lot funnier.
Larry doesn't own any books.
And J-Lo won't loan him the one she's reading.
Being Peace is off the table. So the only choice he has to do is read the back of the Tabasco can.
Which is on the end table of his couch.
He's like,
because you always need to have that Tabasco handy.
He's like Maddox. He just drinks the hot sauce before he goes to bed on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it works, and Brian is able to snooze out on the couch. So now it's on to... Oh, we've got rid of Brian for a moment. Let's get back to this earlier chemistry we were going through there, JLo, who, we should mention, doesn't have a name. She has a fake name, Ricky, that she immediately makes clear as a fake name. So I'm not even going to address her as Ricky. Her name is JLo for the sake of this movie.
Yeah.
No, she reveals her real name at the end.
At the very end, indeed. But for the sake of this, because it's supposed to be a reveal. Oh, her name is the.
You even know.
Yeah, I do.
And if he didn't, would it matter?
Why? So, okay, fuck it. We'll just skip to the end. Her name is Rochelle.
But she goes by Ricky because it's real tricky.
Why?
It's tricky.
Why?
I mean, she could have gone with Shelley if she wanted to have a crappier
Why does she have to
fake
go with
nickname.
anything? Why can't she just be Rochelle? What does it matter?
Because she's dumb. She is an idiot who's read a couple of self-help books. The other ones are just idiots. She's so good at what she does that later her lesbian girlfriend stalks her way into Larry's apartment and pulls some fucking suicide bullshit. She's shitty at whatever she does.
You're absolutely right.
She's not good.
No, she's not good.
Every time she has a conversation with Larry about anything, she uses some really fucking, third shelf psychology from Barnes and Noble to try to break him down. She's an idiot.
Well,
He's an idiot.
I think the most...
They fall in love because they're idiots.
Yes.
The most sensible thing she said about the whole movie, which I did not get, was, your mouth is like a pussy. And then I thought, Teeth. Immediately went to that movie, Teeth.
That's because that's all you ever think about is the movie Teeth. Secretly, you hate penises. And that's why my life is a terrible sham. Like Larry Gigli's. I'm teasing.
But we're all kind of looking at you like, oh.
Yeah. I thought I had something going there.
No.
I didn't. So Larry invites Rochelle to sleep in his bed because she's going to sleep on the floor with handkerchiefs as blankets.
I think one of them was like a sarong.
And a doormat. It looked like she had like some kind of weird doormat.
Yeah.
Made out of bamboo.
Yeah.
I used to have one of those in front of my shower.
A yoga mat, I think. 'Cause she was using it to do yoga.
Oh, that could be.
Or later.
Does she have luggage?
She has a lot of different clothes for someone who never has any
She
luggage.
never brings anything in with her.
Or a car. And she's like, I'm going to go get my
there.
stuff. Is it sitting outside of his door? Does she own a car? Because he gives her his
I think she owns a car.
Where is her stuff that she goes and gets that you never see?
Yeah.
It's right outside his door.
In a garbage bag.
Yeah.
Is she even one of Lewis's people, or is she just a transient?
It's actually her Tabasco sauce that she took from the restaurant that Lewis was just eating at. She convinced him that she could help him with his problem. He didn't even really find out what his problem was. He's an idiot too, and he's like, you know what, you're right. Get in there. And then she's like, all right. And then she takes the half of his burrito that he hadn't eaten yet and the Tabasco sauce, and she just heads over to Gigli's house. And that's what she brings in with her. Let me get my stuff. Half of Lewis's burrito.
And a bottle of Tabasco.
A bottle of Tabasco.
Well, sleep in my bed there, Rochelle. Professionally.
She does have a lot of clothes, though, because she's in different pajamas at that point.
Yep, she has essentially mom pajamas. It's not sexy pajamas, it's like a frumpy shirt that it's like you've been married for 5 years and this is what you sleep in type of attire. But he is still thinking that he's going to put on the moves.
Because he's the bull.
He is the bull and she is the cow.
That's right. And he wants to know, do you want to see my horn?
Yep, he's giving the old pep talk in the mirror. Flexing.
Speaking of dime store philosophy, that every relationship has a bull and a cow. Mm-hmm. That's not a very good analogy because there's usually like a bull to every 10 cows.
Indeed.
So that's not human applicable unless you're like have a harem.
No, cows are not people.
Well, sometimes the world of nature can teach us lessons about ourselves. This is not one of those cases, I don't think.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that once a bull inseminates a cow, he won't go back to that same cow.
Oh, okay.
That's why they have to get new bulls every year.
Used
Cannot
up.
confirm or deny what you're saying, but
That's husbandry.
I'm pretty sure that Larry doesn't know much about people. And you're correct.
All right, so it turns out she's not having any because she is a lesbian. Fine and good.
Yep.
So she can no longer use the ability of sex, I guess, because he knows that she's a lesbian as part of her ploys, but it doesn't really apply at all. I don't know why she has to be a lesbian in this movie.
Because people liked chasing Amy. That was probably down from the studio as well.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that got handed down from the chiefs, the powers that be.
I think, that's a good connection. Well, if she wasn't chasing Amy, she says she would do him big time. The old big time.
The old big time.
The old big time bone. Anytime somebody's willing to say, I would do you big time, you know you're in for,
no sex.
not really.
That's just trying to make you feel better about your patheticness.
Yeah, well, he's not, but I think if somebody's like, says to you, this is just life advice, I would bone you big time. You're gonna have bad sex. That person does not know how to do it big time.
I don't know. Okay, so here, when does big time work out in conversation? Because it seems like it's just a brain fart that you're like, I have nothing else to say here, so big time is going to come out of my mouth.
You've done a really good job here. We're going to give you a promotion. Big time.
You put big time on the end of anything, and it's just bullshit. It is. There is no like, oh, big time. So maybe with baseball, it's like, oh, you're in it for the big time. You're gonna make the show. But
Will you marry me? Big time.
Yeah, there's no.
Wait a second, isn't that how you proposed to me? Dun, dun, dun.
Big time.
And how's the big time bit?
Big time is dumb.
It was big time.
Especially when you're trying to make the sexy eyes late at night, the bedroom pillow talk. I would do you big time.
Big time.
But I got the case of the toots, and we've been married for 5 years, and your sweatpants are just so sexy.
Oh, I'm talking about JLo.
Anybody.
She was wearing sweatpants.
Was she? Well, he's not her type. So the next day, we are given a treat. They get a knock on the door.
Pounding. Open up, Larry.
I've got some quotes here. It's Christopher Walken, just so you know, and he says, "Larry, it's your mother. Larry, I have a chicken."
Trying to get into the door at this point.
Yeah. I don't know what this is. What is going on with Chris Walken here?
And what is the relationship that they have prior to this?
I think that he knows he's a thug and it's okay.
So
he's a snitch, maybe a little
again,
bit?
I am only to assume, and I know a little bit about where the original screenplay was going. The original end of the movie is Christopher Walken's character shooting Larry Gigli to death.
Okay.
He kills him. I am to assume that because of that, you have Walken is a dirty cop, Larry is an informant.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I think too.
But unfortunately, they had to make a romantic comedy after they made this movie, and this is the last we get to see of him.
Yeah, why is he even in this?
Yeah.
Just because he was already paid?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you can't leave him, you can't like really cut him all the way out of the movie.
You can. What does he do? He reveals that Brian's brother is a federal prosecutor. Why doesn't... Okay, here's how you fix that. Lewis just says at the beginning he's a federal prosecutor, and this is what
Lewis
you're gonna
doesn't
do.
know because he's a jerk off. Well, he knows
fine.
enough.
Fixed. You can fix it and not have Christopher Walken in this. I'm glad they kept him because it's amazing.
Yeah, it's the best
He's
scene
terrible.
in the movie.
He one takes this shit.
And I kind of thought he was over there just to get more coffee, because he shows up with a coffee cup with the lid off, like, hey, I need a refill. I was in the neighborhood, and I know you're fucking up around this time.
And he's very spastic. Like, this is his 70th cup of coffee, and he needs more coffee.
Like,
right. But then he just finishes his coffee and folds up the cup. Like, all right, well, I'm leaving now then, I guess, because I'm out of coffee, and you haven't offered me any, because Gigli is a fucking dick.
He is. He didn't make any coffee.
Well, he's there to find out if that's where Brian's at, because he knows that Brian has now been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And he thinks that it looks like something that Larry Gigli would be involved in. Well, Brian's hiding out in the bedroom during this whole thing. But
he's back there sneezing his penis.
So he gives this long monologue about that, hey, there's a child that's missing from a federal prosecutor's brother, and do you know anything about it? Man, you know what I'd love to do right now? Go down to Marie Callender's, get me a big bowl, pie, some ice cream on it. Good. Put some on your head. Your tongue would slap your brains out trying to get into it. Interested? You sure? What? What? What is that?
No, I don't know. I feel like if Gigli was a sitcom, if we got to see Gigli once a week, then
Christopher Walken would come in and the audience would clap.
Yeah, he's Mr. Roper from Three's Company. He just fucking shows up. Hey!
And everybody, he would barge in, and then the crowd would announce, "Did you finally get that ice cream?"
Yeah.
And he would never get the ice cream.
No.
I have no time. I love ice cream, but I'm too busy to put it on my head.
Because as you'll find out in season 6, it's the companionship that he's after, not the ice cream.
Oh. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch that.
I would watch Gigli the sitcom for at least 4 episodes.
Before it was canceled.
It'd only make 2.
It'd never be spoke of again.
I would star in Gigli. I would lower my standards and play Larry Gigli if it was Gigli the sitcom.
Well, Walken just leaves.
Okay.
And that's the last we ever see of Christopher Walken, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So they're now in a panic, and they've got to get Brian away from the apartment because, oh shit, it's a federal prosecutor. This wasn't what we signed up for. What did you sign up for? So they go for a ride around town for the day, I guess. Because that's all that happens.
They go get a burrito.
They go get a burrito. Brian confesses that he loves the Baywatch and he loves beautiful women. And sex is at the Baywatch.
Sex is at the Baywatch.
That's where the sex is at. Is at the Baywatch. So they go to the burrito store.
They go to the burrito store. They leave because Brian is hungry and there's no food in the house apartment.
I thought they left because they was like, we gotta cheese it. The cops are on to us.
Before he shows up, Brian's bitching about being hungry and Larry says there's no food.
Yeah. Well,
so even though they should leave because it's hot all of a sudden, left to their own devices, they wouldn't do that. But burritos will get them out of the house.
Yeah. Well, there's some street punks at the burrito stand.
I guess.
Cranking some rap that I've never heard of. It was like that rap rock. Oh, God, the early 2000s and the rap rock! Oh!
Something...
Oh, it was horrible!
Maybe that's what the early 2000s is the culmination of something for everyone.
Yeah.
Just mixing shit up to try to, like,
you're right.
really... Like, that's the problem with the early 2000s is it was, like, America got to the point where they tried to just completely get every audience with everything at all times.
I think I think you nailed it. And it sucks.
It sucks, because it's something for everyone is really special to no one.
Everything for nobody.
Yeah.
Rap rock. Well, JLo has to teach them some manners because she won't let Ben do it. They start picking on Ben, Larry. And he's like, I'm going to kick those guys' ass. And she's like, no, don't. I'll handle it. So she goes over there and spits some banana business about...
Some more third shelf Barnes & Noble philosophy.
Yeah, about how you can...
Fake karate and
pluck
bullshit.
a man's eyeball out and erase his ocular memories.
Yeah.
So that he,
Pull it out his brain at the same time.
part of his brain is...
Not only will you blind you, but you'll never remember what a cupcake looked like.
The rip of the past.
Yeah.
That does not sound like a karate move.
No. It sounds like a really bad fart. Like the past burritos.
It lingers. That past fart just hangs. It's the rip of the past. 4-hour fart. I once had one of those.
Yeah.
Pesos. Seattle. Check it out. So...
It works, and they get to leave, but on the way out, Larry's like... Nice computer. When did the street thugs... Because at this point, even, early 2000s, laptops are still expensive.
Yeah, not everybody has one.
Not everybody has, but these
And they especially don't just pack it around a burrito stands.
Yeah, with a basketball.
Yeah.
But they have one, and then Larry grabs it and breaks it over his knee and says, nice computer, why don't you go to suckmydick.com?
Zinger.
That was fucking awesome.
Was that supposed to be like... awesome, or was it supposed to be like, he is a nutsack?
I couldn't tell half the time whether I was laughing, because I was laughing at jokes, but I don't know if I was ever laughing at them for the right reason.
I don't either. It's very, that's a terrible joke, and I just can't imagine anybody being like, yeah, suckmydick.com. Ha ha ha! That is fucking comedic gold. No, that's the dumbest shit ever.
It's just so dumb that, the scene is over, but it keeps going, and then all of a sudden, nice computer. You're like, what? They have a computer.
Suckmydick.com.
So that you can tell that joke. What?
I liked it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's great. So they go on about their business, and they're still driving around. I guess maybe because of your theory, they're just going back to his apartment, but Larry's mom calls.
Yeah.
And she needs help with something. So they have to go over to Larry's mom. She's a peach.
Mm-hmm.
What is he doing?
He is giving her a booster shot of some sort.
No, she's got diabetes. When this movie came out, because there was too much Bennifer, there's backlash, everything, the movie's terrible, everybody knows it's not going to work out. I think the week before, I remember Affleck on something saying that it's an important film because it raises awareness for mentally handicapped and for diabetes.
Oh, okay. So this is what I got from his mom. is that all mom in Jersey, because I thought this movie was in Jersey,
Fine. It's Malibu.
It's
interchangeable.
wear hot pink thong underwears.
Yeah.
And they've been adventurous in their youth.
Yeah, Malibu and Jersey are the same place. That is fine. You can replace both of those towns and interchange them with what you've just said.
Yeah, his mom was awesome.
Was she?
I liked her.
Well,
I wish your mom was like that.
Does the film raise awareness for diabetes? 'Cause
No.
you guys didn't even know it was.
I was
she
not
was
aware
diabetic.
of diabetes.
I thought she was getting a hormone booster shot.
I think she had enough hormones bumping through her. 'Cause she was...
Sassy?
Yeah, sassy and her little Randy. He honked her boob. Did either of you guys see
I
that?
didn't see. I was writing something down, and you said that he did.
Yeah, he went to do the mom calm down thing, hand right on her chest. It was very strange, but it was very brief. You had to watch for it. I'm sure it was an accident, but they left it in the film. So she likes the JLO, and the JLO likes the mom, and they have
A magic moment.
telepathy lesbian conversation. They know things about each other, and they know that they like each other because they look at each other. And
Yeah.
you're right. What? So it turns out that mom has, like Jackie says, played for both teams.
Been adventurous.
She has been over the fence and back.
They made a gate just for her.
Yeah.
That's
Well.
what you think.
Those underwears, they say it all.
And the gate swings both ways.
Mhm.
Little Dutch door action.
All right.
Yeah, well.
You just gotta stop it at some point. Analogies can only go so far before you're like, what the hell are you talking about? That's the kind of cupcake that doesn't belong on a battleship, if you know what I mean. What? I don't.
I could go with that.
Yeah.
So, so J-Lo's now starting to warm up to the Larry because his mom is sassy and fun and they like each other. And so things are going a little bit more smoothly with Larry.
No,
now.
because they get into the car and he freaks out and he's
He
like,
confesses his love for her.
That's later.
Is it?
Yeah.
no, I thought that was right after he left the mom's
No,
house. He's like, you want me to
that's,
open up? I can't even touch this woman that I love.
Oh, it is that is Sam is right. That is not that is not right
Oh.
now. That's this. Well, either way, they just go back to his apartment.
And then they have the origin of the sexy conversation.
Yeah.
With the pussy mouth.
Yes.
And where she obviously has some camel toe going on while she's
Yep.
yogaing.
wiener and vagina poetry is what I have.
Origin of the sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of mumbo jumbo about bits because he's talking about how the penis is a metaphor for man's proclivity to be exploratory and pioneering and conquering and going into the unknown and thrusting right into that dark hole that you'd have no knowledge of what's inside and that humankind would not be in the place that it's in currently if it hadn't been for getting a good dicking every now and then.
Yep.
Well, she also has her own philosophy about fiddly bits.
Yes, she does.
That everybody has
Everybody.
instinct to kiss
Yeah.
first. That's the first reaction you have with somebody. Is you want to kiss them on the mouth. Not the balls. Not the knee pits. Not the butthole. The mouth.
Yep.
Because it's the vagina's sister.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And so therefore the vagina is superior to the penis. Because it's instinctual that you want to kiss on the mouth.
Yep.
So therefore, she likes lady parts.
And so does he.
And so does he.
What an amazing discovery you made after a 10-minute fucking scene where she's not doing yoga.
She is not doing it.
She's not, like, when you do just a stretch, you're supposed to hold it for 10 seconds. She's just sort of, like, rolling around on the ground and revealing clothing.
She's doing the butt shots. She's doing everything she can to milk
The high
the
beams
fact
are-
that she's got a big butt.
And the high beams are on, too.
Yeah. Whatever. We also learned that Brian likes to call the weather service
Yeah.
a lot.
Which is expensive.
The Australian weather service specifically.
Mm-hmm.
because he likes the way the lady's voice sounds.
It's too bad that Brian wasn't just a little smarter, because he would have been on the same... Or if he just had better patterns. When Affleck comes in, or Larry comes in, and is like, do you know how much this costs? Brian could have easily said, do you know how much this costs? And Larry would not have had an answer.
I don't know. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It would make more of a stalemate between the two of them if he was just like, I don't know, but it's too much.
You know? No, I don't know.
No, I don't. I assume it's free.
No, I'm talking about them. They would just go do
Yeah.
that back and forth forever.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, the weather service, calling the weather service, I believe, is 100% free, even if you call the Australian weather service. But Larry doesn't like it. I think Larry just doesn't want his phone tied up.
Yeah.
You know?
He could get a call from the mastermind at any point.
Yeah.
He's on live links.
You guys remember how important it was to not be on the phone when you just had a landline?
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody might call.
Watching Swingers is like a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to communicate by leaving messages and using other people's phone to check your own messages so that you can get anything coordinated to have fun.
Right.
It is ridiculous.
Not call each other on their cell phones or use pagers or anything, but call and leave answering machine messages to plan events. That's amazing. So they don't hook up yet. But the next day, Lewis calls. Or, no, that night Lewis calls.
Yeah.
And he wants to have Larry cut off Brian's thumb to send a message.
He's ready to up the stakes on his own bad plan.
Mm-hmm. Making a bad plan worse. But Larry is now uncomfortable because he's starting to get a little attached to the Brian.
And let's face it, he's not the sort of guy that cuts people's thumbs off.
He is not.
He will stick you in a dryer. He's the kind of guy that won't rough up an old man too bad.
Here's the deal. A thug that is okay with cutting a mentally handicapped person's thumb off is inherently evil in film. Larry, is not an evil guy from the very get-go. And so should Lewis. Larry's just trying to make his way in this crazy world. Mm-hmm. Lewis should fucking know that. Again, this is on Lewis.
This is as much money as Larry can make being a half-wit.
Yeah. Yeah, Lewis he's a job. So some blonde comes in the next day, who barges her way in. She is the worst actress I've ever seen on film. And apparently she's JLo's girlfriend?
Yeah, because JLo's so good at her job that she can't even deal with her own personal life.
How did she find JLo?
She said that she's been stalking her.
So she just followed her?
Yeah,
yep,
the whole
pretty
time.
much.
So what was she doing yesterday?
Waiting outside.
In the bushes?
Just going through that weird the milk crate of JLo's belongings that's sitting on the patio.
Tabasco?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even like Tabasco.
So she's looking at the half of a burrito going, is she going to finish that? Because I could eat that
I'm getting hungry.
This stalking business is hungry work.
I can't leave this apartment and get a pizza. I gotta make sure nothing funny happens, so I'm gonna eat this burrito. She is quite crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't understand reason or concepts of reality or how people speak or words. And she just goes into the kitchen and
cuts her wrists
poorly. Starts bleeding all over the place. And Larry's just like, huh? What? He has no emotional reaction at this scene that is happening.
At this point, if I'm Larry,
Mm-hmm.
I have figured out that any real beach that has some women in bikinis will substitute for the Baywatch. And after she cuts her wrist and holds her arms up in the air like she's Rocky and she just made it to the top of the steps, I just grab Brian and take him to the Baywatch.
Yeah.
And think about what to do with the rest of the day. Like, Brian, you and me are going to go to the taco stand and we're going to watch some tits go back and forth up this beach. Today's the day, buddy. We're going to the Baywatch.
Going to the Baywatch. Ugh. Well, instead they take her to the hospital.
Okay, you just let JLo clean up that mess.
So, Brian's still talking about the Baywatch and about pretty ladies. And there's a pretty weird thing that happens here that Larry's staring at JLo, and he says, wow, she's just so beautiful. And Brian says, she's like the ones at the Baywatch.
Mm-hmm.
They make my penis sneeze.
Yep.
Larry Gigli says, you've got a good sense of humor, you know that? Brian looks down at his wiener and says, God bless you. Larry says, thank you. Brian says, no, not you, stupid. When my penis sneezes, I say, God bless you, penis. He jizzed in his pants.
Because JLo was wearing a loincloth for a shirt.
I can't believe that was in the frickin' movie.
No! There's a lot of stuff that you're just not really doesn't make any sense.
If you were to read the quotes on IMDb before watching this movie, you'd be like, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah.
Is this like a hardcore Ray Liotta type film that's going on here? Or is this rom-com? What is this movie?
Yeah.
It doesn't know what it is. So he jizzes in his car. Leaves a sticky spot, but that never gets brought up. But they have to get the thumb. So while they're at the hospital, they break into the morgue. They cut off a thumb.
With a fucking plastic butter knife.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
No.
We'll move. We'll let that one go, I guess.
Yeah, wait for letting things go.
Yeah. They send Thumb at the FedEx. JLo knows the counter girl, I guess.
I don't know if she does or if what's going on there.
Just give googly eyes to each other. Lesbian googly eyes.
She said that she knew her intimately.
Yeah, but why doesn't the counter girl say, "Oh hey, Rochelle"?
Why don't you come over
or Ricky or whatever nom de plume she is using that day?
Reinvent the sexy on my crotch again.
Yeah. They just stare at each other like,
no, it doesn't make any sense.
You're a lesbian, aren't you? I'm lesbian.
I see didn't get that. I got like JLo was pouring it on and the girl was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm one of those that if you get 4 rum and cokes in me, I'll make out with you outside the bathroom.
I'll do just about anything. Yeah, maybe. It's a weird scene. I don't think old, what's his name, Martin Brest really knows how lesbianism works. Yeah. So they go back to Larry's apartment, and guess what time it is? Turkey time.
Turkey time!
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble.
I did not get it.
I don't get it either.
And again, I laughed at it, but I don't think I was laughing in the way that was intended.
Is turkey time when the little red button clicks up when you're cooking the turkey and that, like, it's warm enough now?
No, it's just because of the gobble. Which is why it's hard to connect.
Gobble, gobble, like, get down there and mow on this beef.
And gobble my beaver, yes.
Turkey time.
Turkey time, which is why I was just as confused as Larry Gigli in this scene.
It is not sexy.
No, it's
Turkey
not.
time is not hot.
Turkey time is not hot, no.
I Would Do You Big Time is hotter than turkey time.
Turkey time.
And notice he never goes for turkey time.
Yes, he does. Very briefly. Very briefly. There's like maybe a half a second sex scene shot of him being down there very, very lightly. He argues a little bit about that he's not the guy to do it, that a female would be better. Whatever.
Yeah.
They bone. That happens. Out of nowhere. Oh, because I guess he confessed his love earlier, and that, like, changed her ways.
Yeah, that was that scene I was talking about earlier, where he's like, my life sucks, I'm a sad sack of shit.
Yeah, and I love a lesbian who's the most beautiful woman in the world, but she has no emotional reaction in the car at all to this.
She doesn't have good reaction to anything in the movie. She's just not very good.
Yeah, she is not very good.
By the time it got to the Al Pacino scene, I was like, I just wrote down, JLo is not working.
Yes, she is not working. Well, let's get directly to Al Pacino. Another person not working. So Lewis calls. He wants to meet. The guy is in from New York, and they leave Brian at the apartment. And the guy turns out to be Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
Famed actor Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
Hooah! Hooah!
He does his bullshit.
Yeah, he does his bullshit. His Al Pacino.
Do you think that
Al Pacino plays Al Pacino in this movie?
So, did you notice that there's only 3 angles that are taken? Do you think he did that once and left?
Absolutely.
So, the reaction shots
Are post?
they would shot that again without Al Pacino doing the same, with one of the production assistants reading directly from the script and them having to do reactions to that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. And then he spills out his lines and then goes, "Where's craft services?
Yeah.
Get me over. I want some mac and cheese."
I would just assume it's not even craft services. It's like he then had somebody, and this person had to leave before he even show up to get something to make him like a specific chai tea with certain almond milk and other, just every goddamn thing that no one else wants, you have to get for Al Pacino so that he can be there for 10 minutes and then go play golf with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Al Pacino and Chris Walken were there for a day.
I think that Christopher Walken may have shot more stuff that they got
maybe,
cut
yeah,
out.
maybe. Yeah, but I think he one-taked it all. And I think Al Pacino one-taked it all. It's bad. It is not good acting in either of these scenes. But it's revealed that Al Pacino doesn't like the plot of the movie, which is the kidnapping of Brian. Doesn't like it one bit. Thinks it's a stupid plan. And that should have never happened. And if you're going to do it right.
Yep.
Doing it right is apparently cutting his thumb off and actually mailing the thumb to the guy. Because he knows that it's not the thumb of Brian because of the fingerprints.
Well, now, this is my thought here, is that Lewis is shot.
Lewis is dead, by the way.
Because he is an asshole and he really fucked things up.
Yep.
They are not shot because they're so shitty that their screw up has actually made it to where they didn't even, like, what have you have not even done anything that will get me into more trouble. All you have done is be idiots. I was like, the fuck around thing is like, not fuck around. It's like, I'm not even going to shoot you. And they're like, JLo does her little bullshit speech, which, according to Al Pacino's face, isn't working. She
basically tells Al Pacino that he's dumb.
Yeah, that he's basically looking at them and telling them, "You're both too stupid to even shoot. Go away." And she tries to rebut that, and then it stares blankly back at her like, "You need to leave."
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
You have not done anything really wrong. Just go back to hanging out with Brian, because that's all you're doing. The two of you are hanging out with your friend Brian, and that does not negatively affect me. But Lewis, however, is fucking shot.
Yeah, so Lewis is dead, which should have happened probably about 10 years ago.
But the fish did get nice food out of it.
Ooh, that's true. They got some tasty
ended
brains.
up on the outside of the glass.
They showed the fish, though, eating part of his brain.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Which doesn't make any sense, because when the bullet go through the glass, the brain, the glass, the fish go all over the floor.
Well, let's say it was a 22, it wouldn't go through the back of the brain.
Well, how does the brain splash up on top of the fish tank and then drip down?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
The angle of the shot wouldn't work. Either way, so the plan now is to take Brian back. Because this has all been a terrible, terrible plan from the very get-go. It's not going to work. The federal prosecutor guy isn't going to stop doing what he's doing against Al Pacino because he's got his brother.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. The plot of the film is dumb. So now they're driving back to Brian's retard daycare, I guess.
That's right.
It's just a live-in facility.
When they spot the Baywatch.
Yep. Which isn't the Baywatch, but
not
it's
the
close
Baywatch.
enough.
It's like a Bikini Beach Party music video.
Something.
But it's close enough.
Close
It'll
enough
work.
to the Baywatch.
So that's where they decide to leave Brian at
And
the Baywatch.
I'm disappointed by this because at any point you can just take him to where there's women in bikinis and he's going to think it's the Baywatch. And I find that to be a weakness of whatever journey either of the characters take, is that neither one of them just took him to go see some bikini ladies, that they have to drive by the actual, or the closest thing to the actual Baywatch, and then still have to be convinced to take him there.
Right.
Like, you're not really Brian's friend.
Yeah, I don't
Even though he's the only friend either you two numbskulls have in your whole life.
Well, Gigli's out. He's now out of the game. He wants to get out of the game. JLo wants to get out of the game.
So were they ever even in it to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. So he gives her the keys to the Impala and sends her on her merry way.
Which is the it's a good car. This is the kind of car, it'll take you where you need to go.
It's good with the point A to point B.
Yeah, it's not. It's
But he has
fucking
pink eye during this whole
69
scene, so it's really... I don't know whether it was just the angle or what.
No, he had pink eye.
Might be getting late in the day.
Yeah, but he looked like he seriously had a bad case of pink eye.
He had one eyeball that was very pink. He tells her, if you ever change your mind about being a lesbian, come hook up with me, blah, blah, blah. Brian meets some girl down at the Baywatch that happens to be Aussie, and he is like, oh my gosh, you're the weather gal from, I guess, or he just likes her because he's Aussie, or she's Aussie, and she likes him because he talks about the weather. And then we get revealed that JLo's name is Rochelle. They drive off into the sunset, movie over.
Right, she comes back for him. You should probably say that.
Oh yeah, she comes back.
She drove off.
Like we all didn't know she was going to.
I didn't think she was going to come
They
back.
wouldn't have came back.
Questions and answers.
I think it would have been better if she tried to leave and then couldn't figure out how to work the car.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense with everything else that was happening with her character.
Okay, thanks, Larry. See ya.
Yeah, and then she has to come back like, how does it work? She's like, and then tells her like, oh, it's got a thing where you just kind of jiggle a little bit and go into gear, and she's like, what do I do before that? And then he tells her something else. She's like, before that. Like, she can't even get the fucking door open.
Okay, what do you guys got for questions?
How far did they make it before Al Pacino's men found them and shot them?
Probably
Santa Barbara? Because they were headed north.
Yep.
Because, unless they flipped the shot over because the ocean was on the whatever left side. I have other questions. You can ask a question, Jackie.
Is this during the time where she's still Jenny from the block?
No, I think Jenny from the Block was after this.
Don't know.
Because she used to know a little, now she knows a lot.
She learned a lot on the set of JLo or Gigli. My questions are these people? Or is this how people are? Are these people?
These are not people.
I don't think they're people.
Actually,
I don't think anybody in the universe are like these people.
Nobody
talks this way.
Some people, and they're not the way they talk or whatever, but their relative naivety towards everything, including the human condition, I have experienced with people who I've met in LA.
So it's the Californians.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I can subscribe to that.
And they're trying to do something. Like they have this whole thing that they're trying to do. Like he wants to be from Jersey, but he's just a kid from Santa Monica who doesn't know shit about fuck.
Yeah. Knows where the In-N-Out burger is.
Yeah.
So why do they keep calling him Giggles in the first part of the movie?
Gigli. Because that's how his name's spelled. How does Lewis not know what his name actually is? Lewis has got 2 employees.
I don't think that not only is Lewis an idiot, I think that he's found Larry Gigli very early on in the story world. Like, there's not a lot of their relationship prior to the movie starting.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Larry is... Lewis has just joined the bad guy game earlier this week. He used to be a plumber,
Yeah.
and then got laid off and was like, you know what, I think I'm going to be a bad guy. I know nothing about being a bad guy. For step 1, hire the guy in a leather jacket and a bowling shirt.
Yeah.
Sam, what's your other question?
Is this on-screen chemistry worse than the chemistry between Brigitte Nielsen and Sylvester Stallone in Cobra?
I think Sylvester Stallone and Brigitte Nielsen did a better job.
Really? I do too. And he did really bad with his flirting in that, like, whatever the Western store that has all the weird shit in it. And he's like, this thing, like, he was more charming.
Yeah, no, I thought that their chemistry was actually one of the strongest points about that movie. Like, most believable parts about that movie. I have absolutely Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe the Bennifer one. I just don't believe it at all.
Yeah, by the time they were started recording this movie, I kind of got the feeling that he was like, this is over, but I gotta fake it until after this recording so I can dump you like a month later. Because I'm kind of done with your ass.
Yeah.
Who was the most mentally handicapped person in the film?
Lewis.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Okay, do tell.
Forever even letting Lewis talk to him in the first place.
True, yeah.
I'm subscribing to the theory of the idiot pyramid, and the one at the top is the biggest idiot.
Yeah, but I still don't believe that Lewis works for Al Pacino. I think he's freelancing. But then Al Pacino shouldn't even let him in the house. He should just be like,
no.
Hey, actual guys that work for me,
Shoot this guy.
whack this guy. He's a nutsack.
Don't even whack him. Do what they do to, what's-his-face in True Lies to Bill Paxton. Just leave him in his underwear out in the desert halfway to Vegas and be like, fuck off, dipshit.
You got a little dick. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
My last question is, actually I have one before this. Are they insane? Are they stupid I are they actually fucking crazy?
They're stupid.
Okay, all right. Is this Ben Affleck's worst film?
I couldn't sit through Daredevil all the way, so I will say Daredevil is worse.
Jackie?
I don't know. Daredevil, not as bad as this one.
Really? Huh, I liked this better.
And considering that I just watched Gone Girl, which was done quite a few, 10 years later.
11 years later.
Actually,
yeah. He was better in Gone Girl, and I think,
yeah.
like this movie, he was just being Ben Affleck.
It was Ben Affleck in Gone Girl.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about his performance. I'm saying, is this his worst movie that he is in?
In terms of the movies that I've seen him in that I could not watch, the one movie that he is in that he caused me to turn it off immediately in the beginning of the movie was when he started dance fighting in Good Will Hunting. About 7 minutes into the movie, I said, you know what? Good Will Hunting is not for me.
You guys
and
are
I turned it off.
Big one on the table. I can't
Okay.
believe it. Absolutely, this is not his worst film. By many miles.
What do you think it is?
Armageddon.
Oh,
The worst
The
movie
worst
ever
movie.
been made.
Yeah,
I did watch that all the way through.
because he did
though.
that weird animal cracker thing.
It's just a terrible movie. I'm not
It's
talking
in
about,
a-
again, I'm not talking about Ben Affleck.
Or it is,
He plays Ben Affleck in every movie.
I just forget
Is it
about
the
it.
worst movie? And no, this is not.
No, the other ones are worse than. Even though I was able to get all the way through Armageddon.
Yeah. I'm with you from the very beginning. I was going to bring this up later, Sam, that you stated at the beginning of this episode that I think this is rated so poorly as a backlash to the Bennifer. I think on a revisit 10 years later and you don't even care about the Bennifer, you go, this is kind of a dumb movie, but it is not even in the realm of worst movies ever made.
It shouldn't even be anywhere near the IMDb Bottom 100.
It should not. It's sitting at a 2.3 user rating right now. I think between a 3 and a 4 is fair.
Yeah.
There's a level of charm to this film, and you laugh.
I laughed.
And you can enjoy it. It's impossibly dumb. The acting is not good, but
The story is incomprehensible.
it's just not very good.
It is, and I think that there's some of that too. That's like, well, let's remake the movie as a romantic comedy as well, because I really feel like that there was just like, this is idiots in over their head, and had they not had that confused, there's some coherent story here. On paper, the kidnapping of a mentally handicapped person and two people that can't deal with that could make a good movie.
Right.
This one is not it.
Yeah. Jackson? You got a follow-up thought?
Well, I was just thinking, like, I think maybe why it flopped so badly is because the sex scenes were just not steamy enough.
Well, we
The
know
sex
that you
scenes
are correct because
were
of
like
the 50
two-
Shades of Grey breaking all the records.
They got the two the
That's
little
all people
retards
care
that
about.
could sex scene. It just wasn't, and I think that's probably where it fell flat, was that people wanted to see,
Not the story.
yeah, they were like, oh my god, there's going to be a Bennifer sex scene, and then it was like, wah, wah.
So, yeah.
It should have been the sex scene from MacGruber.
Recommendations, guys. We got to wrap this one up. What do you guys think?
Yes.
It's a tough call.
It's tough, but yeah. 51% yes.
I'm only going to recommend it if you are a tour of really bad films, want to see everything on the bottom 100 and see whether it's enjoyable or not. I think it's a good experience for that. If you're looking for Hall of Fame material, this is not it.
No.
This is only worth watching if you wanted to see the aftermath because of its pop cultural relevance with the Bennifer bullshit.
Yes,
This is not very good. It's just not very good.
It's just not that good. But it's okay. So there's your show. Thanks for listening. Next week is my pick. I don't know what I'm going to pick yet. It might be Catwoman still sitting out there. Maybe we'll double up
Catwoman
with
is
Daredevil.
a byproduct of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, because Halle Berry did not want to do this film and ended up doing Catwoman after she did Gothica, which was the instead of.
Well, unless something else happens, there's your movie. It's going to be Catwoman. We'll see you next week, and get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.